Warm greetings from the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans, and I want to thank you for joining me. Happy holidays to everybody. Happy Kwanzaa. Feliz Navidad. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. To all those celebrating this holiday season, God bless all of you. Stay safe. For the past week, 2 weeks or so, I've been going over the case pertaining to Summer Wells and everything that has been said and mentioned, and all entities that have been mentioned pertaining to her disappearance. And that has been all suspects mentioned, motives, the scenario around the home, the Tacoma truck, the terrain of the house, the risk of a abductor, the abduction theory, debunking all theories pertaining to the abduction of Summer Wells allegedly, bringing you all said commentary by law enforcement, TBI, and Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, my own personal opinion, and also the buffoonery that has been exacted on the back of a 5-year-old, which is despicable and disrespectful. But nonetheless, I do believe I've done my job thoroughly and bringing you all said information pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells. Today's commentary is pertaining to the bio female. Did Candace orchestrate the disappearance of Summer Wells on June 15th and use Boy H as her alibi? I will bring forth a source for each information to debunk every allegation pertaining to an abduction. I do believe that on June 15th, Candace Bly Wells orchestrated the disappearing of her own child. And I will play you audio from the interview room where Boy H lays out the day of June 15th. You're entitled to believe or disbelieve what he said or did not say, did or did not do, what Candy said and did not do. And then I will match the interview room's interview with commentary in the articles by WJHL from the testimony from Candy and Donald Wells. And you can decide who is lying pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells. I do believe you used that boy as your alibi, Candy Bly Wells, to get your child gone. I do not believe Summer Wells is alive. I do believe she is deceased, and I do believe you orchestrated this because in the end, it can't be but one or the other. It can't be but one or the other. You used him because there's conflict in all of the conversations pertaining to June 15th. 1 minute the children were alone, the boy children. The next minute they were gone to work with the father. So which is it? Were the boys alone at the house all day until Candy returned home with the child and grandmother, or were they going to work with the said father? We do have commentary that the father said the boys were there. He's also told that the children were there when he got home after getting the call that Summer Wells was missing. And he knew that Summer was gone when he saw the boys standing near the shed. So therefore, you have Candy Bly Wells saying the boys were there. Her testimony is that they were there. She walked her child over to the house and told the children to watch Summer. So that means the children were there when she got home, allegedly. Then the father has attested that the boys were at the shed when he got home. So that means the children could not have been with Donald Wells at work. So that leaves the obvious. Candy Wells, you orchestrated June 15th deliberately and willfully. That you had it planned to get rid of your child. And she is not visible to the eye. Naked eye. So if both parents are saying the boys were at the house, then that means the boys were left alone. Both parents knew that the children were alone, then that means you lied to Boy H. Because where would he have gotten the testimony? The boys were at work with Donald on that morning. And this is the testament that he gives to the interview room's host. So why would he lie and say the children were at work? What motive would he have to lie when you two, both parents, have said the children were at home? Let's start off with source number one to prove the theory that this was an orchestrated crime against a girl child 5 years of age out of Rogersville, Tennessee. Source number one. WJHL News 11 News, uploaded 1 month ago. I'm just going to skim through just to bring you the said information that's relevant to the title of my video. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. If you want to donate to the channel, $BeganJu 129 Cash App. All super chats are welcome during the live. Summer Wells is missing. This is dated June. She's 5 years old, 4 foot tall, blonde hair, last seen wearing a pink shirt and gray pants, said Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson on June 15th, just a few hours after Summer was reported missing around 6:30 p.m. that night. That late night announcement launched a massive ground search at first light the next day. With the steep and dangerous terrain, we're also experiencing very dense canopy coverage, including very dense ground cover, causing search efforts to be very difficult, said Captain Tim Koo of the Church Hill Rescue Squad, who served as the incident commander of search operations during the extensive weeks-long ground search. In this said article, you will see a picture of the compound and the pots that were used to allegedly plant alleged said flowers by Candy Bly Wells and her mother. Summer's father, Don Wells, spoke with News Channel about the disappearance of his daughter, revealing that he believes some bad person grabbed her. Next is the commentary from TBI. While every case is different, this one is definitely outside of the norm, said Tennessee Bureau of Investigation spokesperson Leslie Earhart on June 24th at the agency's final press conference. Typically, an investigation like this one, please take note of what I'm getting ready to say. Typically, in an investigation like this one, we have some idea of where the case is headed and what might have happened within a few days, quote unquote. 2 days later, on June 26th, the TBI announced they were searching for a late model red Tacoma truck seen in the area at the time Summer went missing. The agency stressed the driver was not a suspect but a potential witness. On June 28th, News Channel 11 heard from Summer's mother for the first time. Candace Bly's only daughter had been missing almost 2 weeks. It reads as follows of what allegedly took place on June 15th by Candace Bly Wells. Me and my mother and her were planting flowers, and we went in after we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from Grandma, Bly told News Channel 11 in her first on-camera interview. And mind you, this took place 2 weeks later. Stay woke. And she wanted to go back over and see her brothers. And I said, okay. And I walked her all the way over to the porch. And I watched her walking into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV. I told the boys, I said, watch Summer, I'll be back. And within 2 minutes, I came back. And I asked the boys where their sister was. And they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom. And I said, okay. And I yelled downstairs for her a couple of times, and I didn't get no answer, which was unusual because usually she always answers me. And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. Bly told Channel News 11 she believes Summer had been abducted. This is a statement from Candace Bly. Well, whoever has my daughter, I pray they haven't harmed her and they bring her back to us safe and sound. The same day Candace spoke on camera, the reward fund was finalized through the Churchill Rescue Squad. Authorities also closed the active search. July. The Churchill Rescue Squad announced on July 27th that it would no longer be the lead agency orchestrating any search efforts for Summer, announcing the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office as the primary agency. Take note of that. July 27th. Hawkins County would be the lead in the search for Summer Wells. Why? I've brought you commentary days ago to my thoughts of Hawkins County, that they have possibly wanted to be the head knocker of this case and did not want to share in the glory of finding Summer Wells. I do believe I proved that point by this information here. July, that Churchill no longer would be the lead for the search for Summer Wells, July 27th. July 21st, a spokesperson with the Department of Children's Services confirmed that the department was involved in the Summer Wells investigation. Next clue. Why were the children removed? Why have they not been returned? It is now December 2021, 6 months later. Because they found something unsavory with the parents to not return their children. Point 2, why have you not complied to get the said children back? By now, you should have all 3 boys back in your custody, Don and Candy Wells. Amid the continued search, dozens of community members met weekly to pray for Summer's return, offer support to the family. Parents of Summer Wells attend juvenile court, confirmed sons are in the custody of child services. July 29th, Bly confirmed with News Channel 11 that her sons had been in the custody of the Department of Child Protective Services since the previous week. Don Wells had also confirmed their older sons were taken by Child Protective Services, but he wouldn't give the reason. Why not, Donald Wells? Did you not give the reason for your children being in the state's care? Because 9 times out of 10, you were too ashamed to tell the truth of why they took your children. And I also question why the children were in their custody 6 weeks before them being removed. And as I've told you, if it's a matter of child neglect charges, the state does not have an age limit of when a child can be left alone in the state of Tennessee. So then that leaves the house. The house, we've all seen how it looks on the property. It's unsafe inside and outside. That should have been enough reason to remove the children. And the fact that the girl child was missing under suspicious circumstances without any type of information, evidence to where she could be located within a few days. So at the least, the children should have been gone within a few days. The reward fund for information leading to Summer's location at that time stood at $37,970 at the end of July. August. The start of August, the Hawkins County Sheriff's posted to Facebook stating no psychics have been used in the search for Summer. August 11th, Lawson said in a video posted by TBI that the search for Summer was certainly not over despite concerns and speculations. September, Summer's case was featured in Pursuit with John Walsh. Summer Wells Reward Fund also surpassed $40,000 at this point. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation announced that months of searching had yielded no clues as to Summer's whereabouts. 3 months and around 1,200 tips later, TBI said there's no update on Summer Wells. Stay woke. No trespassing signs were posted around the Wells family Beach Creek home. October. More than 100 days after his daughter disappeared, Summer's father, Don Wells, wanted to speak with News Channel 11 on October 4th. Wells said he was not pleased with the expiration set for the reward fund. I feel bad for Summer, Wells said. I don't know why they set it up like that. That same day, the Churchill Rescue Squad's reward fund was extended into the following year. Almost a week later, on October 10th, the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office said they were still taking tips and looking for the red truck. Hi, this is Don and Candace Wells, and this is our YouTube channel, said Don Wells on a video posted October 12th to their family YouTube channel, almost 4 months after their daughter was reported missing. The channel was created in conjunction with the family's website, findsummerwells.com. I hope and pray to God we find our daughter. We can't thank you enough, said Wells on YouTube. Video posted October 13th. There's nothing we can do to thank y'all enough, but just thank you and praise our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. On October 27th, the Churchill Rescue Squad also announced that the reward fund has surpassed $58,000. Social media stardom turned into a social embarrassment. 2 weeks later, Don Wells was pulled over on a suspicion of DUI and arrested live on YouTube. November. While in court for the DUI charge on November 1st, Wells was arrested on a violation of probation charge. He was later released on his own recognizance bond. And as I had told you in the content the other day, when you go into the YouTube queue, you will see the said information of him being released, walking out of the municipal building court, He goes to a two-door white truck sitting in the parking lot of the same building. No one is there. In the car, outside of the car. He goes into the driver's door and gets inside of the car alone. 1, how did the car get there? Who brought the car there? Was the car impounded? Did the car have valid registration, tags, insurance when he got in that vehicle? The point I made about that is perhaps he has had favoritism, because you have to ask yourself, why was he released out of the jail when he violated from a domestic assault stemming from fall 2020? And naturally, the judge is the one who makes the decision. So why did the judge render the decision? Why are you, Sir Lawson, walking this person to their car? Is this the normal practice of people who go and commit crimes in Hawkins County? They are escorted out of the courtroom. Stay woke. Everything's up for interpretation. This is just my own public opinion. You're entitled to believe what you want to believe. As I said, arrested on a charge of DUI November 1st, violation of probation charge, later released on his own recognizance bond. On that same day in court, News Channel 11 learned a gag order had been issued for the Child Protective Services case involving the other Wells children. I have to stay off YouTube. I have to stay off the YouTube thing, or be careful about if I do anything on YouTube from now on, because I have lost control. Yes, you have, Donna Wells, you have. And you have not listened because you're still on YouTube. Wells said in an interview on November 9th, I've done stupid things, and for that I apologize. I'm just trying to be right, focus on our church and the things that our family that we so much enjoyed together. So you said this on November 9th. When was the last time you went to church? Because we haven't heard from the church. We haven't heard from the preacher, the pastor. I just brought you commentary on that. Where is the church? I'm chopping up everything ever said by Donald and Candy Wells, and anything given to the news report, and side pieces and side kicks, and anybody that you wanted to throw in the mix pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells. I'm chopping up, dissecting, and spitting it back out and showing you there's some smoke in the city, and these are all lies pertaining to June 15th and Summer Wells. When was the last time you went to church, sir? You and your wife. Because you don't talk about church, you don't mention church. The TBI tweeted on November 10th that the agency had seen an uptick in misinformation surrounding the Summer Wells case, adding that the agency had executed search warrants and collected potential digital evidence. The agency told public to stick to the facts, all of which can be found on the TBI Summer Wells newsroom webpage. Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson, the department receives calls daily regarding the Summer case. Despite the thousands of tips since June 15th, the search for Summer Wells continues. The ongoing Amber Alert lists the following details for Summer. Age, 5 years old. Sex, female. Race, white. Hair, blonde. Eyes, blue. Height, 3 feet. Weight, 40 pounds. Missing from Rogersville, Tennessee. Missing since June 15, 2021. The search for Summer Wells continues. For the latest developments, stay updated on News Channel 11. Just hit the tab, the summer tab at WJHL.com. And naturally, everyone knew that they went to Hollywood to be on the Dr. Phil show, and it aired Thursday and Friday at 4 p.m. at that time. The source for the information I just brought to you is by WJHL. If you need verification, and the title of this article is June 15th to now, timeline of the search for Summer Wells. This content was uploaded 1 month ago. I bring you this information as to not be repeating gossip, and he said and she said. I always bring a source to the information. This is in relation to the title of my video, that this was an orchestrated crime by Candace Bly, and she used Boy H as an alibi. I do believe what I'm saying to possibly be factual, only because there was conflict about where the children were. Well, this article shows you that she states that she walked her child over to the doorway and the boys were inside playing games. So that means you are attesting, Candy Bly Wells, that your boys were at home and not with Donald Wells at work, as you told Boy H, because you are the only one who could have told him that information. And that is the information he gave to Chris Madonna. So who is telling the truth of where the boys were? Your reasoning for calling Boy H, your reasoning for texting Boy H, Your reason for going to see Boy H. Your reason for asking Boy H to come over to the house. Why do you need to go sit with a 15-year-old? He states his mommy was sleepy. I will play you the audio from the interview room to show you this was orchestrated. To get rid of that baby and to use a 15-year-old boy. Because it can't go but one or two ways. It can't go but one or two ways. You use that boy because now we have to ask ourselves the ultimate question. How long had it been since you last talked to Boy H and Allison Mulani? It's obvious you weren't friends. The mother gives testimony to YouTubers that you all had fallen out, which contradicts her as well, too, because then she let her 15-year-old child go in your custody. Why? And why would a child lie? Some people believe Boy H knows more than what he has told Chris Madonna. What does he know? What all did he tell law enforcement? In this information that I'm going to play, he lets you know the timeline allegedly. He also lets you know that his phone was taken from him by TBI. How long did they keep his phone? At what point did they give Boy H his phone back? And once again, why would a child lie about what was said to him and done on June 15th? Why are you calling a child when you and the mother do not get along? Allie, why would you let your child go in the company of a woman that you don't get along with? Why would he tell Chris Madonna that? The boys were at work with Donald Wells. Why would a child lie about that? I don't really think he'd have a reason to, because he would have to be a fool to immerse himself in the case of one, giving information to Chris Madonna about you in that day, but then hold back the possibility that he was looking at a dead child, aided you with a dead child, helped you discard a dead child. Is that what you all want me to believe? Is that Boy H helped get rid of a girl child dead? Source number one is WJHL. You can verify it for yourself. Source number two is the interview room. Debunking all lies and theories pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells by via Donald and Candy Wells' own tongue. Allegations that Boy H is involved. Boy H is a liar. Boy H told Chris Madonna in front of his mother and grandmother that, and whoever filmed this audio video, that the boys were with Donald Wells. Yet Candy has let it be known to the news that her boys were at home when she came home, unloaded her car for groceries, began to plant flowers with her mother. Summer was the only one that helped, and she watched that child go over to the said house and watched her go into the house. And I do believe you orchestrated this crime to get rid of your daughter, and you used Boy H as the side piece and sidekick to your evil doing. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me.
If you could speak up, because remember I'm deaf.
Yeah.
Because why am I deaf? Because I'm old, remember?
Let me use this as a reference.
Okay. And why is that?
It's a phone.
No. Okay, go.
I was gonna say that she texted me saying that her grandma was in the hospital.
Do you have those texts?
No, the TBI has my phone.
Got it.
I'm just using her dad's phone.
Okay.
Well,
your grandfather didn't ask me.
Okay, got it.
So that day that she texted me, and she said my grandma's in the hospital. Well, her mom's in the hospital, but we called her grandma at the time like we used to. So I called her up. I said, y'all want to come over here for a bit? Because she's going to be in the hospital for a while. Because she messed up her knee or whatever. And she said, yeah, if that's okay with that. Allison.
And that's mom.
Yeah, that's mom.
Okay.
And so...
She called her Allison.
Yeah, she calls her Allison.
Okay.
And so next thing you know, I tapped mom because she's half asleep because she works at the time. The time she did. But what's that thing? Oh, I asked her if they could come over? She said, yeah, for a little bit, because Grandma was on her way. She was on her way. So, Mom, she said it was okay, and she said she'd be over in like 5-10 minutes. And I'm telling you, I don't do good with times because I really don't look at the clock. So if I mess up sometimes, that's on me. I'm really bad with doing times.
You're 15.
And so she pulls up, she gets out the car with Summer, and supposedly the kids went to work with the father. And so
Now you say the kids. Who are the kids?
Wyatt and Josie.
So the boys.
Yeah, the boys.
They went to work with Dawn.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, go ahead.
And so I dap everybody up. That's just how it is. So I dap her up. I said, how you doing? Because it's been a long time since I've heard from her.
Okay.
I hear from her like once in a while on Snapchat.
Okay.
Well, I did until I blocked her because all this stuff that's going on.
Now tell me what it means when you say you tapped them up. What is so people that don't know that.
Like a handshake.
Okay, so show me.
This is just like this.
What's up, dog? We're one of those, right?
Yeah.
I get it. Okay, go ahead. See, I knew that, but people don't know that. Right. So let's make that clear. So somebody can't say, "Oh, look what he did." Okay.
Then so she pulls up there in front of that mailbox.
Okay.
And so I dap her up like usual. She comes in. We're all sitting down. I asked her what happened to her grandma because she wouldn't tell me over the phone. She said that she hurt her knee because of kids. Where did she say she went on vacation for? Gatlinburg. She said she went to Gatlinburg for a little vacation with the kids, and the kids kept kicking her leg. And she had supposedly a plastic knee or something like that. And so they took her to the hospital. We came in here for.
You know what hospital? Do you know? Not Mom. Do you know?
It's the one downtown.
Okay.
I don't know what it's called, but it's the one downtown.
Okay, Mom, do you know the name of it?
Molson Valley.
Christian Valley?
Molson Valley.
Molson Valley. Okay, yes, ma'am. Okay, so she's here. Grandma's at the hospital. And who's with her that
Just
day?
Summer.
Just Summer.
Not the entire day until we pick up the grandma.
Okay, what time do you remember? I know you're not good at times. Guesstimate.
I guess the time that we pick up the grandma.
No, that time she pulls up that morning.
Had to have been like around 11, right?
Okay.
Or 10 or
No, just from your memory, not from
I
Mom's
think it
memory.
was at least 10 because I was up all night.
And it could be wrong too, right? Okay, so let's just kind of put that right there, okay? Because like you said, you're not good with times right now.
Yeah,
okay.
Just don't pay attention to time.
Straight up. Okay, so then what happened?
And then we got to adapt up. We went inside, talked about it. And then she said, you want to go fishing summer? I said, do you care if I come with it? Because it's summer. And I treat her like a little sister.
Right.
And she said, you got to ask Allie. Well, she calls her Candy or Candace. And then she calls her Allie or Allison.
Okay, so she asked you, do you want to go fishing?
No, I asked if I could come with because summer was going.
Got it. And she says, ask your mom.
Yes.
And what did you do?
I went to ask her. She said that's fine because there's no problem with going fishing for a little bit and come back.
Sure. And what was, when you first saw Summer that day, what was your impression?
It's just how it usually is. Just like, yeah, she's over here. I mean, I don't know.
What draws you to Summer and what draws her to you?
I mean, I think it's because I show her a lot of attention.
Oh, interesting.
Like, not weird attention, but I show her attention.
No, I get it. Miss Robin shows her a lot of attention too in church.
Yeah, like, I'll sit there and she'd be like, give me a piggyback ride. I'll give her a piggyback ride.
Like an older brother.
That's what I'm saying.
Is that kind of an older brother, sister kind of vibe going here?
Yeah, that's what it was because our brothers just always used to pick on her, so I just show her how real brothers should act.
Okay.
Even though I'm not saying I'm the best brother here, you guys did.
You should talk to my brother, man. He'd be messed up.
It was like, I was her older brother. Like, they treated us like family.
I wasn't going to play all of this. This beginning of this audio, he tells you that the boys were with Dawn. I want to make sure everyone hears that. So let me go back. Hold on.
Your grandfather.
Hold on one second.
I'm Chris McDonough, a retired.
because grandma was on her way. She was on her way. The crime she did. But called her up. I said, y'all want to come over here for a bit? Because she's going to be in the hospital for a while.
I keep trying to get it to where I can get it, show it for some reason. Hold on, you guys.
She said it was okay, and she said the TBR has my phone.
Got it. What's up, dog? How you doing? Good. So
She called him.
you got a lot of stuff going, huh? Yeah. Help me out. Tell me what. Tell me about that day.
The whole day?
Yeah.
So,
And you could speak up, because remember I'm deaf.
yeah.
Because why am I deaf?
I have no idea.
Because I'm old. Remember?
I'm used this as a reference.
Okay. And why is that?
It's a phone.
No. Okay, go.
I was gonna say that she texted me saying that her grandma was in the hospital.
Do you have that text?
No, the TBR has my phone.
Got it.
I'm just using her dad's phone.
Okay.
Well,
Your grandfather didn't ask you.
Okay, got it.
so that day that she texted me, and she said my grandma's in the hospital. Well, her mom's in the hospital, but we called her grandma at the time like we used to. So I called her up. I said, y'all want to come over here for a bit? Because she's going to be in the hospital for a while. But she messed up her knee or whatever. And she said, yeah, that's okay with Allison.
And that's mom.
Yeah, that's mom.
Okay.
And so,
She called her Allison.
yeah, she calls her Allison.
Okay.
And so next thing you know, I tapped mom because she's half asleep because she works at the time. The crime she did. But what's that thing? I asked her if they could come over. She said yeah for a little bit because grandma was on her way. She was on her way. And so mom, she said it was okay, and she said she'd be over in like 5-10 minutes. And I'm telling you, I don't do good with times because I really don't look at the clock. So if I mess up sometimes, that's on me. I'm really bad with getting times.
You're 15.
And so she pulls up, she gets out the car with Summer, and supposedly the kids went to work with the father.
There you go, right there.
Now you see the kids.
There you go, right there at 3:10. He says, supposedly, the kids went to work with the father. I will rewind, and then I don't need to play anything else pertaining to this interview with Chris Madonna. Feel free to go over yourself to the queue. It's titled The Interview Room. What happened at the swimming hole with Summer Wells the day she disappeared? He has a lot of views on this, uploaded 4 months ago. I'm going to go back from 3:10 on this video. That's why I titled this video this title. Did she use the boy as an alibi for a crime that she orchestrated on June 15th? Thank you for joining me. Hold on 1 second.
This is like
What's up, dog? We're one of those, right?
crime she did.
Try to get the time on here. It's hard trying to do this. Trying to.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second, you all. That's why you have to pay attention because it happens very quick. It's only 3 minutes into where he says the kids were gone.
They could come over. She said yeah for a little bit because grandma was on her way.
All right. Listen carefully.
So mom, she said it was okay, and she said she'd be over in like 5-10 minutes. And I'm telling you, I don't do good with times because I really don't look at the clock. So if I mess up sometimes, that's on me. I'm really bad with getting times.
You're 15.
And so she pulls up, she gets out the car with Summer, and supposedly the kids went to work with the father.
Right there.
So
Now you see the kids.
3:09. Suppose she gets out of the car with Summer, and obviously she's telling him, because naturally Summer's the only one in the car with her, getting out of the car with her. Supposedly the kids went to work with the father. So where would he get that from? You want me to believe he just made that up? Because why would he care? He's a kid. He's 15, like he said. I don't keep up with time. And that's natural for a kid not to keep up with time. Kids don't work. They don't have jobs. So they don't have to keep up with the time for anything. He's just breathing. That's, you got adults that just breathe, don't keep up with time, such as Candy Wells. She's older than age and she don't keep up with time. So you expect me to think that a 15-year-old would keep up with time. 306 in the room. Amen. Thank you. God is good. He makes that comment at 3:09 seconds. 1 second. Hold on.
Catch. Who are the catch?
Wyatt and Josie.
So the boys.
Yeah, the boys.
They went to work with Dawn.
That's what I was told. Yes.
Okay.
He said that's what I was told.
So,
Let me repeat that one more time.
So, she said it was okay, and she said she'd be over in like 5-10 minutes. And I'm telling you, I'll do good with times because I really don't look at the clock. So if I mess up sometimes, that's on me. I'm really bad with doing times.
You're 15.
And so she calls up. She gets out the car with Summer, and supposedly the kids went to work with the father. And so
Now you say the catch. Who are the catch?
Wyatt and Josie.
So the boys.
Yeah, the boys.
They went to work with Dawn.
That's what I was told. Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
And so I dap everybody up. That's just how it is. So I dap her up. I said, how you doing? Because it's been a long time.
Let's talk about that for a minute, because I don't think we ever discussed that. Wyatt and Josie are the ones allegedly that went to work with Dawn. So I'm assuming those would be the older boys. If I'm wrong, I don't mind to be corrected. Yes, setting up the story, indeed. If the older boys went, because he just said Wyatt, now he's giving names. So now you want me to believe he's lying about the names of the children that went to the job with the father allegedly? And that's something we've never discussed. The names of the children that allegedly went to work with Dawn. And he got it from her. He just said it in this, if you listen carefully. He says, as was told to me, the kids went to work. And that's why Chris says, which kids? And he names only 2. He does not say 3. So then that means, where's the other child at? A home alone? So what are we saying? The oldest boy stayed home alone, and the younger 2 under him went to work with Donald Wells. Why would H1 say that's what was told to him, that the children went to work? Chris Madonna asking which children. He only names 2. And this is something I've rarely heard anybody talk about on YouTube. As I say, I do not follow everyone's content because I can't naturally listen to everyone's video. But you never hear that 2 children only went to work with Donald Wells. So that leaves only 1 to be behind or be somewhere else. So where was the 3rd child? And this is information he got from Candy. I don't believe a child would make up the names of children that went to work. He'd have no reason to lie. For what reason? Because he ended up turning on her by doing this interview. So what would be the point of making up these stories? As one of you said in the chat, there was some gossip about somebody being behind cleaning up a house. I don't know if that came from Allie later on somebody else's channel, because as I said, I do not keep up with the he said and the she said pertaining to June 15th. But I think it's time that you realize, well, sometimes when people say car, they could mean truck, sweetheart, because I do it all the time. I say truck, then I'll just go ahead and say cars. This is the point of why you have to pay attention to what is being said. Because like I said, this is a he said, she said story pertaining to a 5-year-old girl. You don't have any verifications of anything that's been released to us. So therefore, the only person that has any access pertaining to who was with whom via video would be the places that they went and they were seen on camera, and the FBI, TBI has that said source or sources. We don't. So that's what's going to prove who was with whom. Now, video surveillance will show who all was with whom on June 15th. That is for Summer Wells' grandmother, and Candy Boy H. 4 people allegedly were together before the child went missing. Number 2, is there surveillance of Donald Wells with those 2 boys at his job or going anywhere together, such as going on a lunch break, Sonic, Burger King, Taco Bell, at the place where he worked, person's house, whichsoever? Number 3, where was the other child at? One would assume at the house alone, while the other 2 were with Donald Wells. Number 4, why are you lying, lady? Why are you lying about your baby? I'll wait. Why are you lying about your baby? Why would you use a 15-year-old kid as an alibi? Why would you make up these crazy stories pertaining to June 15th, which shows you had to have orchestrated this from the jump, because the stories are all BS. This is how you know it was orchestrated, because you got to go from the start. One person saying what the child had on, the father, but yet you left at a certain time. If you left early, she was asleep, then you wouldn't know what she had on because you left before she got dressed. H telling Chris Madonna, Candy told him that he took the kids to work and he named 2 kids. So that leaves one out of the loop. Where was he at? Then there's rumor about somebody staying behind to clean up the house. So which is it? 1 stayed behind to clean up, all 3 stayed behind. 3 stayed behind. What do we say? Don lets it be known that when he got home on the 15th, he saw the boys near the shed. So that's how he knew Summer was gone. So that allegedly would prove the boys were not with him unless he's lying. Stay woke. Candy spins the web to the news of the planting of the flowers, walking the child over to the house, watching her walk in, telling the boys to watch her while they were inside of the kitchen area playing games, TV, yah. Yet you have a conflicting story from 6:30, a call to the dispatch of her taking a walk, a run, whichsoever. She returns and there is no child. She looks for her child. Where did you look for her? Inside, outside. But that story makes no sense because you just spun a story to the news after that version that you walked the child over to the house. And she went inside and you told your boys to watch her. So how could they be watching a child if they were at work with Donald Wells? 2 at least. Josie and Wyatt. Those are the names that Boy H mentions to Chris Madonna. You're entitled to believe whatever you want about these goofy ass people. But there's something sinister with Candy. And the one thing you need to always remember, especially you crazy ass people chasing behind them like they're innocent. Every day people kill their kids. Why is Candy so different than the other people who have murdered their children? I'll wait. Just help me understand. What is so special about this damn hillbilly that you cannot put together she done killed that damn girl? But you can nod your head with these other ones that killed their kids, burying them in the backyard of their boyfriend. Ting! But oh no, these 2 couldn't have killed their kid. Well, why not? I've brought you the stats I don't know how many times in relation to talking about Cal City and now Summer Wells, that most children go missing by their caretakers, not a random abduction or kidnapping. And that most children who are kidnapped at the school age are at the age of 12 years old. Not 3 and 4 and not 5 years old. And exactly, every time you see her talking in the past few months, she is a zombie. And the one where Donald is putting his hands around her and she has that blue jean coat on and they're talking, it reminds me of that old Americana folklore picture of grandma and grandpa standing in front of the farm with their numb faces. This is a modern day version of that historical photograph. The painting of the older white couple, Ma and Pa. American Gothic, thank you. American Gothic meets Hollerville. Candy, you see, what you didn't bet on is what most criminals don't bet on. It's being found out. Wyatt 11, Josie 12. Well, then where was Waylon then? Because he mentions Wyatt and Josie, boy H. So you mean to tell me a 9-year-old was left alone by himself? Well, where was he? In the end, it doesn't matter. You're entitled to believe what you want to believe about what boy H said, what Candy has said, what Donald Wells has said. But I don't think he would make up her kids being at work with the father. Because why would a child care? He wouldn't care. He just told you, I don't keep up with time. So if he didn't keep up with time, I can't see him caring about which kid was where. He don't have a dog in the race to care. And as I just read, I believe in the comment section yesterday, somebody says that TikTok doesn't have a time stamp. But then as I told people, well, if we're going to go there, that this was orchestrated and a lie of June 15th didn't take place at the swimming hole, then why would Allie and boy H lie about being in the company of her with Summer and then Allison seeing the child in the backseat of the car on June 15th? And I do have a source that says he got out of that car, boy H, with Candy on June 15th. And this is somebody who would have had knowledge of what boy H was doing that day if they were actually talking to boy H on the phone to know he just got out of the car with Candy Blywells. Naomi, it's called You Ain't Living Right. That's the deterioration of Summer and Don Wells. You can only lie so long. Anybody that knows this, a liar can tell you that. You can only lie so long. You can only rob and steal and manipulate so long. The earth will seek retribution. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? The earth has got to get it back. The earth has got to get it back. You can call it the earth. You can call it God. You can call it whatever you want. The earth will get it back. That's why you got so many hurricanes, tornadoes, tsunamis. The earth is angry because we ain't been good to the earth. And the earth says, I'm tired. How about this? The earth said, I want my money back. Come on with it, Queen. I want my money back. I want a refund because you humans are nasty and you vile and you don't deserve to sit on top of the dirt. So let me make it easy for you to lay on down. I'll bring in the tornado. Matter of fact, I'll bring a couple of them. Wipe you out. And there ain't nothing you can do about it. And it's the same for the missing children. and missing adults. The devil's got to give back what he stole 7 times. Come on with it, Quay. So what you stole, the devil stole, he's got to give it back. So Candy, I'm going to ask you, you and Donald, what are you willing to barter with for what you stole from the earth? I'll wait. You've been working for the devil, and everybody knows he don't pay you nothing. So I'm going to ask you again, what are you willing to give back for the theft of Summer Wells and 3 itty bitty spiders? Because you stole from them too. You and Donna Wells, you are guilty of neglect and self-serving narcissism. When are you gonna pay for what you did to Summer Wells? You gotta give it back, baby. You can dance all you want. You can cry all you want. You can snatch off all the microphones, blubber into the camera, but you got to give it back for what you did to Summer Wells, baby. And you gonna get it. You gonna give it back one way or the other. You see, the reason why I know this was orchestrated, Candy and Donna complicit. Either way, I don't give a damn who held the wheel, who opened the car door. It's all the same to the queen. You keep mentioning I and me. See, that is the first giveaway to a guilty party when they speak of I and me. What about me? What about I? What about what I need? But you see, it's not about you. Your baby is missing, so you don't have the right to say, what about me? There is no me in the disappearance of a 5-year-old heifer. The story is about Summer Wells, but sadly it turned into the Candy and Don Gong show, and YouTube Nation joined in, such as how it went down with Cal City. I said I wasn't going to say nothing, but I'm going to say it because it's my channel, and I pay the piper and pay the price to be the boss. Cal City is the same as Summer Wells. Summer Wells is Cal City. People get on the ground and got beside themselves and got their panties turned up in a bunch and acted like the shit didn't stink. Don't you find it strange? It was YouTube buffoonery on the ground in Cal City, California, Bakersfield, and then it came all the way to Rogersville to do the same damn thing. Folks hooping and hollering and turning on one another, acting like a donkey's ass at the expense of a missing kid. What the hell is wrong with you folks? So you see, you ain't no better than the damn parents, because you see, the parents lost their way to get the children missing. And then you want to get on the ground talking shit like you know every damn thing going on, trying to claim a story that didn't concern you. Wasn't none of your business. But you made it your business because you want to be seen. So I'm going to ask you, what is the price of fame? I'll wait. This ain't nothing but a Cal City redo. Or do-over. And as Dr. Phil would say, how's that working for you? You see, that's the problem with YouTube. YouTubers. Because people make up YouTube. Just like the church, your job, your family, the apartment building, the church, all the same. You don't know when to stay in your lane. You want to claim something that don't belong to you. It's just a story, remember? Everybody is free to discuss it, talk about it, post it to Facebook, make a channel, whatever. Free country. But when you decide to immerse yourself into a story as if you are the head knocker, then that's where the problem begins. Because you don't own nothing. Because you don't know Summer Wells and you don't know Don and Candy Wells. So therefore, the story doesn't belong to you. It's a public story. And to start acting a funky ass, talking crazy, threatening people, doxing people, showing out, calling people out in public, using YouTube as a platform to douse people with gasoline, dousing them with gasoline on Facebook like you running something. You're not doing nothing but making a fool out of your damn self. That's why sometimes it's best not to even damn respond, because that's the thing about responding. You respond, they respond. Then it doesn't stop. Somebody has to fold. Who's going to be the one to say, I'm not going to respond to that foolishness? Goofy ass folks. Wanting attention. I got there first. I got the picture of this and this. I got the 411. They called me. They inboxed me. They emailed me. I got the text messages. I got the emails. You ain't got nothing because you ain't got Cal City. Produce them boys. You want to be the first in line to be on the story? Then tell us where the children are. You want to be the first to tell me about Summer Wells? Well, tell me where the hell I can find her. You want to be the first in line? Be the first in line to produce that 5-year-old. Then we'll favor you. You want so much attention. You don't know people. That's the gist of the story of true crime. You don't know the people in the story. So how the hell you gonna know somebody talking about the story on YouTube? How the hell you gonna know who coming in talking about what they saw and what they heard? I don't know you. As black folks will say, I don't know you, I don't know your mammy. And I didn't send for you. So therefore, I don't know what the hell you talking about, and if it's the spoken word, if it's the truth. Because words are cheap. Back it up. Bring me a receipt. Maybe it shouldn't even be no talking about true crime. Because if you're going to go immerse yourself in the case, you might need to check yourself. Because this is real business out here. You're talking about missing people, dead folks. And in the end, people don't have to oblige you by talking to you and telling you nothing about their child, them, what you heard in the street, what Pookie told you, what Bubba told you. They can tell you, get the hell out my inbox. I don't know you. I don't owe you nothing. Go read it in the newspaper. The way you was getting it before social media. Come on with it, Queen. They ain't ready. Hey, YouTubers. Go back to the old ways of reading it in the newspaper. Ting, ting, ting. When it wasn't no iPad, no iPhone, no texting, no cell phones. They don't know nothing about that, Queen. Hey, these damn millennials, everybody they got beside themselves with all that modern technology. You would lose your damn mind if it wasn't no Facebook, no YouTube, no internet. Got to go back to the landline and call your friends up. Ain't no more calling somebody to say, did you see what they said on YouTube? Did you see what they said on Facebook? Hell no, because it ain't no more Facebook. Ain't no more YouTube. You got to go back to acting like you were half-ass civilized. See, the earth got to get it back. Keep trying to tell y'all that. That what you put out, you might get back 7 times. And even if you think you're doing good, maybe you're really not. Maybe you are the wolf in sheep's clothing, and you perpetrating that you got it going on, that you better than the next, but you ain't, as old black folks would say, your shit stink, and you acting like it don't. You acting like it don't. You can't ride with everybody. Everybody's not your friend. And usually it's your friend that becomes your enemy. Your so-called friend anyway. Acquaintances. You don't know people. And I don't trust nobody that does anything for attention. That's just who the queen is. We all have our own reasons for being on YouTube. We all have our own reasons for the stories we bring. We have our own reasons for the commentary that we spit off our tongue. We have our own reasons for immersing ourselves in a case or not. But you need to be very careful getting in folks' Kool-Aid. I done told you about that. You keep meddling in them grown folks' business, something bad might happen to you. Because see, what you don't seem to understand is you can be found. You can be found. And one day while you walking around acting like your shit don't stink, somebody might pay you a little visit at your front door or to your car window. And you all about your business. When you hear that little tap on the window and you foolishly roll your window down. Yes. Aren't you that YouTuber? And somebody blow your damn brains out. Because they didn't like what you said on YouTube. Now, you probably thought it wasn't no big deal what I was saying. It's my opinion. Well, somebody took it personal. You better stay woke. Panel hopping. Yeah, I'm going there today. I don't give a damn. Want to be the first to jump up on somebody's panel. Then get an attitude. Somebody won't let you come up. Maybe there's a reason for the season. See, I don't work like other YouTubers. See, I watch everything. I don't delight in somebody commenting in the chat. I don't delight that you want to hit the panel. Because I ain't thirsty like that. I watch everything. And you can best believe I got people out there that want to let me know everything going on, and they stay in my ear to keep me abreast of the buffoonery. And I stay woke even when I'm asleep. And I know when the wolf is coming because I can smell him. So when you take it personal that the queen is not indulging in your BS, then that should tell you something about your damn self. Don't get mad at me because I got the gift of discernment. That was a blessing God gave to me. And I'm going to honor it. And will I make a mistake? Of course I will, because I'm a human being. But what I'm not going to do is indulge in buffoonery and foolishness. You do what you want to do. But I'm not you. And I've realized with the buffoonery, with Cal City, and also this case with Summer Wells, that people are not in this business for the right reason. That you really don't care about the children because you don't really care about yourself. And you've shown that in the chat. And you've shown that by coming up on the panel and going up on people's panels, talking foolish people talk and tripping and flipping on nonsense. When in the end, you don't know what you're talking about and you don't know the story. You don't know the people. Because I don't confess to know the people. I don't confess to know the story. I can't tell you where none of these children are. But I can tell you, I put my money that they ain't coming back. How about that? I put my money on that. They ain't coming back. And I ain't about to sell my soul to the devil to talk about nobody missing or dead. Because I don't want to end up where they possibly are. So you got to like yourself a little bit. And we all going to fall short of the glory because we're flawed and we are the flesh. But there comes a time when you got to check yourself and say, you know, maybe I'm not going about this the right way. Maybe I need to just fall back and be a spectator and not an instigator. Did you hear that? Be a spectator instead of an instigator. And you know the old saying about friendship? You can't keep a friend if you don't know how to be a friend. Come on with it, Queen. You can actually be a decent human and really try to do right by folks. But there's always going to be somebody that's not going to like you, going to find fault in you, and they're going to bring the knife to the back or sometimes to the chest. The point is remaining woke and removing yourself from the foolishness. You see, your problem only stays when you remain in the mouth of the lion. My best advice to you is don't put your damn head in there. Come on with it, Queen. Because see, sometimes you already know there's a lion sitting over there and you went over there any damn way because you want to be seen. And you thought you was going to pet the lion. And you know the lion even told you. Now, Goofy, you know I'm a lion, right? Yeah. And you still want to come over here? Yeah. You still want to pat my head? Knowing I'm a lion? Yeah. And now you want to put your whole head in my mouth? Yeah. Then you're a fool, said the lion. Because I'm going to do what I have to do as a lion. Know when to fold. Stop being self-serving and know when to fold. You see, you're giving these people entertainment, random strangers, and these foolish people that possibly killed their kid. You're giving them entertainment. And they like what you're bringing because you're making them the focus. They like all this. They like the fact that their name is in the title of my video. Because what they're saying to themselves is, well, you like me, you talking about me. No, not really. No, what I'm trying to do is show some people why you got to stay woke and realize that the wolf is going to do anything he can to stay relevant. And he going to use some people to stay relevant. And you better be careful that you don't get in the snare of the wolf and the lion, or you too will become a victim. You see, some of you don't really realize you can get missing like Summer Wells and the boys of Cow City. Just keep on acting a damn fool. Don't think because you grown, you can't get missing. Whoever told you you can't get missing because you 30 years old, you 50. Then you are sure enough a utter fool. Because I can guarantee you, those bodies at the cemetery do not belong to 5-year-olds only and 3- and 4-year-olds. It's some mighty, mighty grown folks laying out there in the cemetery and on the slab in the mortuary. So you better be very careful the people you fool with and take up with, or you will end up a news, Facebook, and YouTube story. Because I keep trying to tell folks that. The cemetery don't care how you get there, just so long as you get there. You be short, tall, or fat. you can get there. And you keep running that mouth and meddling with folks, you already got one foot on the banana peel and the other in the grave. Ooh, Queen going back old school now. It's time for you all to realize that these are real people you are discussing on your channel, that you're chatting about on Facebook and Twitter and news article comment boxes. These are real people, real children missing, who have not been afforded the opportunity to live a full life. Hey, Juicy, how you doing? They have not been afforded the opportunity to live out a full, productive life. They were born to the wrong people. It's not their fault. Summer is not to blame because she's missing. Her brothers, it's not their fault. They're in foster care. Cal City, it's not their fault. They had the wrong mama, wrong daddy. Nobody cared enough to step in to pick up the slack. It's not their fault they had to go into foster care. They got the wrong adoptive parents, foster parents. It's not their fault. They didn't choose to be here. Who the hell chose these MFs for parents? Why would anybody choose these bunch of folks? I'll pass. We didn't choose our parents. If many of us could go back in life and do a redo, we wouldn't choose our own parents. It's not your fault who brought you here, who did a half-baked job in raising you, mistreating you, favoring the other children over you. It's not your fault. But nobody has the right to snuff you out either. Nobody has the right to pimp you out. Nobody has the right to touch you inappropriately. Nobody has the right to beat you, hurt you, torture you, sell you to somebody, throw you up for no reason. Nobody has that right. And nobody has the right to use your story as a come up, to be relevant, to try to remain relevant. Because you should know that it's only a matter of time. That boomerang gonna come back. And it ain't gonna be nice when it comes back. Candy Bly Wells orchestrated the disappearance of Summer Wells on June 15, 2021. And I do believe she used Boy H as her alibi. I've brought you commentary pertaining to the version she's given to the news of her children being at the house when she returned home with Summer and her mother allegedly. The father has given testimony that he returned home from work and saw his boys at the shed and knew that Summer was gone. But yet in this commentary with Mr. Chris Madonna and Boy H tells this man that she texted him, he called her, he asked her to come over. She went over with her girl child while the mother was at the hospital. They talked about going fishing, changing her clothes, and that Candy Bly Wells told him that Josie and Wyatt were with Donald Wells at work. So that leaves one child minus to be where? Question mark. And what reason would this 15-year-old have to lie about what Candy Bly allegedly told him where her children were? And as someone in the commentary said, why would she lie about where her children were? For what reason? The only reason you would lie is if you have already put in motion to get rid of your 5-year-old and you need your child to be seen by said people who can verify later that, yes, I saw Summer Wells today. Ting. He does mention that they talk periodically on TikTok, but he didn't go into detail the last time or first time he had been talking to Candy and how long they had been coinciding on TikTok. When was the last time she reached out to him before June 15th. That would be very relevant in the setup and orchestration of this crime. It's looking more like orchestration. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. No big deal. It's just my opinion. But when you start counting the lies of a he said and a she said, and you're changing your version from day one, the only reason you would change your version, Candy Bly Wells, is because you're guilty in harming your child. And as Ms. Earhart has said in her commentary to the news, this is an odd case. We usually have information to an abduction within days, but in this case, we do not. Because that's the point of an abduction. The perpetrator is going to leave something behind in taking a child. He's got to. She's got to do something. He or she's got to touch something. They had to come some type of way. By foot, by car, bicycle. So when you look at the terrain of that home, you have to use common sense. Common sense. The perpetrator would have to come by car due to the location of the house. There's no stores. There's no skyscrapers around. There are no sidewalks, no bus stops, no cabs, no nothing. So how did the perpetrator get to the address to kidnap Summer Wells? I'll wait. I'm going to say it again. How did the perpetrator get up the hill to kidnap Summer Wells? Where did the kidnapper kidnap Summer Wells? Next lie. Door locked, children locked in, then the door was unlocked. Can't see in. Would I risk going to a door I can't see in? Stay woke. Would I risk going up the drive? I'm a random stranger. How do I know the child's even there and where she can be found? Then the lie switches to the child was outside. That's from TBI. So where did TBI get the version? Summer was outside and possibly had on no shoes. I'll wait. Which is it, Candy? Donna Wells. Summer was inside of the house or she was outside playing when the abductor stole her. I'll wait. How many lies are you going to spin about Summer Wells? When are you just going to fold and tell us the truth of what you did to that baby? Because you've got too many versions repeated for June 15th, starting with the dispatch that you took a walk. You came back. She was gone. Gone from where? Lie number 2. You walked her over to the house. You went back 2 minutes later, she was missing. Then you can't remember if the door was locked or not. But then yet you told somebody that the boys were locked in. So which is it? Which is it? You took a walk, you took a run. You came back, she was inside or outside when you went missing. Where'd you go? Then you switched it to planting flowers. You went over there, walked her over. I'm like Dr. Phil. No, you didn't. You ain't walked that baby nowhere. Because we don't even know that she even made it back to the plantation. And who's going to tell the truth? Grandma, are you going to tell the truth? Why did you leave your daughter behind, knowing her child was missing and her other children put into the state's care? What is your role, Grandma? What do you know about June 15th? Are you going to continue to hold the lie as well with Candy Blythe Wells, or are you going to put your big boy boots on and tell the truth? Stop this nonsense. As I said, you're entitled to believe what you want about Boy H if you think he's involved. But listening to him talk, that's just those little things I can't see being made up. Because he doesn't really have a reason to say the children went to work. Because if he orchestrated anything with Candy, he would have known what to say, and their versions would have been the same. Ting! Stay woke. If I'm going to go down with you with the lies, I'm going to keep the same version. Okay? But if I don't know about a plan to get rid of a kid, I'm not going to give it the version that you give. Because you didn't come to me to say, hey, this is what I need you to say for this reason. And that's the whole point. Do you actually think she would have gone to him ahead of time to say, hey, I'm going to knock off my kid and I want you to help me hide my baby body and lie for me when I report her missing? Always think about what you're saying and what you have heard or what you've been told. So that is the reason why allegedly Candy went to him, the next day or two to talk to him, because she wants to know what he said. So if he is guilty in trying to hide a dead kid, she'd have no reason to go to him to talk to him about anything, because she would trust he would tell the version that she told him to tell. Pay attention. I don't know if he made that up or not, who done it. I have no idea. That's the whole point of what I'm saying. If I'm going to orchestrate a crime and ask you to be a part of the crime from the beginning, I have no reason to go back to you 2 days later to ask you what you said to TBI. I have no reason to ask you what did you say. I have no reason to tell you what you should and shouldn't say, because it's too late. Once they get a hold of you, I'm nowhere around. That's what leads me to think he didn't know about anything. And then you got to prove the child died at the swimming hole. If you'd have believed that she died there. And he watched her carry a limp baby into a car. Who's going to tell the truth? Do you understand what I'm saying? That has to be proven. You have to prove she died in that water. You have to prove they put a dead baby in a car and dressed her. You have to prove they rode around with a dead baby in a car with 2 adults and 1 older child, boy H. You have to prove that when they pulled up to H's house, the child was dead. You have to prove Summer Wells didn't make it back to the compound. You have to prove she made it back to the compound. You have to prove she wasn't dead in the car at the compound. You got to prove she got out and planted flowers with her grandmama. You got to prove Candy walked her over to the house. She went in the house. You got to prove that she was alive when she went downstairs allegedly. You got to prove somebody came in that damn door and took her out of there. You got to prove she was allegedly outside and got kidnapped. You got to prove the scent of the dog trail and the dogs. You got to prove somebody's car was at the edge of the driveway of the dog trail and took the child. You got to prove that the mother handed the child over to somebody in the car. 3,000 scenarios you got to prove. And yet nobody has a damn receipt. Your stomach, my head, we're even. You want to donate to the channel, The Dreamer, Everyday Shenanigans. $ began you. 129 Cash App. I thank you all for the gifts. I thank you all for the donations. I thank you for following the content, sharing the content. I thank you for believing in what I do up here. I care about the children and I care about adults as well. I don't wish harm on anybody, but I do know that if you out here doing felonious things to people, somebody gonna probably whoop your ass or beat you to sleep. So it's best you stay in your damn lane and nobody wishes harm on you. But the one thing I will never stand for is the mistreatment of a child. Not now, not never. And there are a lot of people who have abused their children, have done horrible things to their kids, and put their children in harm's way, but they have apologized to their children, and they have stood atonement. And if the child can forgive his or her mother, then what can I say about that? That's between them. So if you are willingly out here mistreating your child, stop. You don't want to take care of them, please hand them to somebody who can help take care of your child. There's no reason for this. There's no reason for this abuse to keep going on with these kids. It's time for the stuff to stop. If you see something, say something. Don't be a party to this children being abused. Because you should want to sleep at night. That's just common sense. You should want to sleep at night. Hold on 1 second, you guys. I'm checking something. Candy, when are you going to tell the truth about Summer Wells? That's what I want to know. When are you going to tell the truth? I believe Donald Wells knows what happened. And you're covering for your wife. And you sit up here and say to the news what she wouldn't do. She would call the ambulance in case of an emergency. I think you wouldn't call because you all know you have a torrid past with children and the DHS system and whatever else shenanigans you've been into back there in that holler in Hawkins County. And hell no, you wouldn't call no ambulance. And if we'll believe that she never got state funds, any welfare monies, or medical for her children, she ain't took her kids to the doctor, she ain't cared about the welfare of her children. And that's obvious from the photographs we've seen of Summer Wells. And it's atrocious to see a little girl dirty, face dirty, clothes dirty. There's several pictures I've seen Summer Wells. Her clothes were nasty. So you want me to believe that same mother would take her child to the doctor? Why would a little girl have dirty clothes on? I'll wait. Why would a little girl have on dirty clothes? So if she had on dirty clothes, the boys had on dirty clothes. And you would be the same person to not take your children to the doctor to get their immunizations, to the dentist, tummy ache, cold, anything. Because one thing begets another. You won't wash clothes. You won't wash hair. You won't take the boys to get a hair trim. You won't buy soap powder, soap, detergent, wash your clothes, keep dish towels, washcloths. You ain't taking nobody to no damn doctor. And you'd be the same heifer to not call 911 if indeed your child or children was injured on that property or anywhere else. Doesn't matter about somebody having something on somebody. Why do you all keep thinking that? Somebody's got to have something on somebody. These two are evenly yoked in madness. They was tainted before they met one another. They was tainted when they got together. Tainted together. You have to remember something. What is Donald Wells going to do with all these boys without a wife? He knows he's not capable of taking care of these children because he didn't do it with his other children. So you all got to think about the people in the story. Look at what's been told to you. He needs Candy. She's a patsy. Stay woke. Who's going to keep his children while he works? Stay woke. She needs Don. He's a breadwinner. She's lazy, uneducated. She's never going to work. She's never going to get education. She's not going to do nothing. He's her meal ticket. They need each other. Both codependent on the other. You think about what's been told to you. You see, you don't like to listen. Who runs all the way across the country because he thinks his wife's got another man in the house if he didn't like her or want his wife? Stay woke. If we ought to believe he traveled to Utah with one child and came all the way back. One, you have to ask, why did he go out there? Two, why did you rush back and get in an altercation with your wife, your mother-in-law, and a Jose? You have to pay attention to what's been told to you. Read between the lines. Donald Wells needs Candy because he is also codependent. He is a narcissist. And he needs a willing victim to chew on his heels. And she needs a sugar daddy, a pawpaw. She doesn't even like men her own age. Stay woke. And she possibly likes women too. I will not doubt it. She's now walking in the footsteps of her mother. So perhaps Candy Bly Wells is also bisexual. And you are looking at a 5-year-old girl who is beautiful. Blonde hair, blue eyes, everything you are not. And perhaps Candy was envious of Summer Wells. I don't know because I don't know her. But I know enough that she doesn't like herself and she has never taken good care of herself or her children. And Summer would be the ultimate stab to the gut. Look at her. She's beautiful. She's pretty. She is everything I am not. She is pure. She is innocent. She is not tainted. Stay woke. And perhaps Summer was the apple of Don's eye. And Candy could not have that and would not stand for that. And perhaps she didn't know how to raise a girl because it just wasn't in her to raise a girl child. And that has happened with many women who have had boy children. They don't know how to raise a girl child. They are detached from raising a girl child. So then you factor in, you were not raised properly. You have identity issues. You don't like what you see in the mirror. You've raised nothing but boys, and then you have a beautiful blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl. You are stuck trying to figure out what to do with her. And every day, the baby gets prettier and prettier. Stay woke. Is this a revenge killing? I don't like myself. I've got a pretty baby girl. I don't want a girl. I can't identify with a girl child. My husband likes this baby more than me. Which is it? Because I don't believe Summer's alive. Because as I told you, if she was alive, somebody would have brought her forth by now. Because it would be too risky to hold on to Summer Wells with an Amber Alert. And her picture is floated around the United States and abroad. You would be a fool to have Summer Wells in your custody right now. Because you are going to have to explain why you have that child. Thank you, baby. Thank you, Lisa. So that leaves the alternative. She is not alive. And another thing that I've mentioned in my lives before briefly pertaining to the appearance of Summer Wells. If I'm to believe that the abductor, allegedly an abductor, is the culprit, and he was fancying a girl child for his own sadist reasons. He saw her out in public. Stay woke. And they don't hear you, Queen. He fancied girls in a felonious manner. How in the hell he knew it was a girl when Summer's head is shaved at that time? He wouldn't know it's a girl if she's dressed like a boy. And there are photographs where Summer is not wearing girl clothing. So if she was out in public and there is a sadist out stalking her, she would not look like a girl. Are you listening to me? She would resemble a boy child. So you need to think about the theory of abduction of someone assuming she was a girl. She looks like a boy. I keep trying to tell y'all, stay woke. If an abductor was stalking Candy Wells and her children, then that means the perpetrator was liking boy children. You don't hear me? I tell you all, you don't pay attention. Someone working around the house on the line, Wi-Fi, telephone lines, is looking through the bushes, trying to steal a child. From afar, Summer Wells will not look like a girl if she's not wearing girl children clothes. Stay woke. So then that means if you are to go with the abduction theory of a stalker peeping through the wooded terrain, then you're basically saying the male was looking for a boy child to kidnap. And that theory can be debunked because 3 boys allegedly were left behind on the property alone for hours. But then H says it was basically 2 because he only named 2 in his commentary with Chris Madonna. So where would the other boy child be? You see, there's too many inconsistencies with the stories between Boy H, Donald Wells, and Candy Wells. And if I am to believe that someone was stalking the property, it wasn't a girl child that he was looking for. He'd been looking for a boy. And then that makes no sense because 3 boys were allegedly in the house alone while Candy was out running around with Boy H, Summer Wells, and Grandma. So you must pay attention to the details. So then that leaves the theory that the child was abducted by someone that knows Summer and knows she's a girl child with a shaved head. Prove it. Prove random abduction and an abduction by a friend or acquaintance. Prove it. Bring a receipt. Candy Wells, Donald Wells, you both are liars and frauds, and it has been proven. And only a fool would chase in behind you, and they will be of a like mind and cut from the same cloth to sit at the table with you and indulge your bullshit. And that's on God. In no way in my right mind I believe anything that has come out of your mouth. Not now, not never. And you need to tell TBI and Hawkins County Sheriff what you did with your child, because I believe there's a reason they were back up in there searching in the same area from months ago. And they have searched in many places. And they have not divulged all the places they've searched in town, out of town, but there's a reason for the season that they returned to the same area to search for your child. And one can only assume it's because they believe Summer Wells is disposed back up in there where they searched. Why go back to the same place twice when the seasons change? Because I'm hoping to see what I could not see in the month of June and July. Thank you, Scott. That girl is not alive. And I believe Sheriff Lawson has subtly told you that they do not believe a red truck was involved as a witness or a suspect. They have debunked the theory of a scream. Outright debunked that versus the truck. TBI has basically debunked an abduction theory and now introduced to the table foul play. And foul play equals murder. You can talk to 1,000 people out there, Rogersville, Kingsport, but who is going to tell you where you can find Summer Wells? Because that is what needs to happen at this point. 6 months in, no baby. Just a bunch of people yapping their jaws. Where is that baby? And you have given too many versions, Candy Blywells, of June 15th, and where you went and what you did and what you didn't do. And nothing makes any sense pertaining to planting flowers. You watching the girl go inside, the boys locked in, locked out. Can't remember if you locked the door or not. She was inside, outside. You took a walk, took a run. All conflicting stories pertaining to the disappearance of your child, when we already know that whether you keep time or not, you would never forget June 15th as long as you live, because allegedly that's the day your child went missing. So how in the hell you've got 4 or 5 different versions of what the hell happened to your baby and you can't keep up with no time? You are a damn liar, and you got that little girl missing, and you have been using and manipulating people, you and Donna Wells, for the entertainment and amusement of gullible people who are like you. And you need to be ashamed of yourselves. Let me tell you about what's going to happen to you if there is no arrest or indictment. You are going to die a very lonely, cruel death. Because if God lets you continue to suck up the free air and oxygen, then when it's your time to leave here, little lady, you will probably become very ill with a debilitating disease. And it's going to snuff out everything inside of you and break you down from organ to limb. And you are going to suffer. And you are going to suffer so you would wish you were dead. But your eyes will be open and you will still have breath in you. I say this because I've seen it with my own eyes 2 times. Of parents who were cruel to the children and didn't do right by a said child. And they left here suffering so. That will be your fate if you don't end up in penitentiary and die in there for the death of Summer Wells and the mistreatment of your 3 boys and your other children. You are going to die a horrible death. You are going to suffer because you stole something that didn't belong to you. Because rightfully, we are children of God first and foremost. God was blessing you with your children, and you could not do right by them. And I do believe you have caused the demise of Summer Wells. If it comes out that you did not kill your daughter, then you didn't kill her, but you discarded her. So to me, it's all the same. And in the end, as I have told the chat, you would have to prove to 12 members of a jury you did not deliberately kill Summer Wells. And who is going to believe you after you have spun lie for lie? Because everything that you ever said, from the dispatch call to what you told the news, to what you told Pookie, Ray Ray, Bubba, it will be repeated in a court of law. And you will have to rebuff every lie you ever told, including the lies you told to Donald Wells, if he is indeed not involved. And in most states, he cannot testify against you because he's married to you. But by then, who the hell knows how things will transpire and who will be the one to fold and be the star and state witness. And that also means your children you left behind. They will probably testify as well to what they saw on June 15th. If they saw Summer return home, you are a fool, lady, because you know that your children know the truth. And see, that's where the clues are. The 3 itty bitty spiders. I'm assuming they're married, dear. I don't know. The children know where everybody was on June 15th. The children know if they stayed in the house or they went with their father or somewhere else on June 15th. The children know if Summer Wells woke up in that house that morning or was not there that morning. And they also know if Summer Wells returned to that house on June 15th. And those kids also know if indeed they helped search for their sister on June 15th. I bet you didn't think about that, did you? What if you find out later there was never no search of Summer Wells on June 15th by Candy Bly Wells and her children? Because you forgot one thing about the story. If you believe that Summer Wells never returned home on June 15th, then you know there was no search for her by Candy Wells and the boy children. Then that too is also a lie. Because in the end, we do not know what the children saw on June 15th. We do not know if Summer actually woke up in the house, outside the house. We can only go by H's testament that he saw Summer that day at his house with the mother and went to the swimming hole. So he's the only one that can say, yes, I saw Summer Wells June 15th in the morning at my house, in my house, swimming hole, ran around with her mother, the grandmother, until they took me home. But after that, I have no knowledge of where she went with Summer Wells and her grandmother. So it's really up to you deciding what H said is the truth and what the boys saw on June 15th. Thank you all for your support. I appreciate the love. God is good. I want to thank you. Happy holidays to everybody. Please be safe. Tomorrow marks 1 year to the date that two itty-bitty spiders out of Cal City were reported missing by their adoptive parents, Jacqueline and Trezelle West. Where are the Cal City boys? I did not want to talk about them the week of Christmas because I feel like this is a time of happiness and joy and people gathering with their families, children celebrating the holidays and looking forward to going under the tree to get their presents. And somewhere on the West Coast, there are two children missing and will not be celebrating Christmas. Thank you, sweetheart. And why would they want to celebrate Christmas with those two demons who have walked on and removed themselves from the search and the care of the Cal City boys? Two more demons walking free and also without their other 4 children. Thank you, honey. So many similarities with the Cal City boys and Summer Wells, and also differences. But I believe neglect is the culprit with both. Both had neglect in their lives, either way. Foster care has been brought into the situation of both children, sets of children. Both children are missing without a trace. Both children had YouTubers immersed in their business and the storyline of their lives. Don't you find that ironic? One set of parents disappeared, have nothing to say, and the difference with that, with Rogersville, these parents want to be seen and heard. But the sad part, where the stories are evenly yoked, is that the children are still missing without a trace and no arrest. And each had children removed by the state. Similar, but yet different. But a lot of similarities. Where are the boys of Cow City? And who's going to be the one to tell the truth to where they can be found? A lot of gossip and innuendos and meddling coyotes. Same with Summer Wells. A lot of innuendos and gossip and meddling people, meddling hyenas, but no truth to where she can be found or located. Both had massive searches done in the state and out of the state, but yet no clues, no arrest, because the common denominator is possibly murder. Foul play. That is why you can't find the boys of Cow City and why you cannot find Summer Wells. They were deliberately removed from the earth and tucked away by their parents. And that is why you can't find them. No abduction, no rehoming, no selling, no human trafficking. Just, I don't want you around, I don't need you, and I got to get rid of you. That is why you can't find the boys of Cow City and why you can't find Summer Wells. Each case is a deliberate, orchestrated crime to knock off beautiful children who were not wanted. That is my public opinion. If I am wrong, then I am wrong. I want to thank you. God bless all of you. Prayers for Cow City and prayers for Summer Wells. If you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution and not the problem. Thank you. God bless all of you.